a bright new talent is emerging on the EPT. And he's rumoured to be a betting and bluffing machine. He's already taken one major title.
The fact that I won a UK IPT makes me come into the field like this with confidence, knowing that I could do what I can do.
He knows winning here in London will be tough.
The standard in the EPTs are the highest standard of tournament in the world.
But Ludovic Geilich wants to be the last man standing.
To win EPT London would be great. Of course, it would be a dream come true. It would be amazing.
We're in one of the most affluent cities in the world, a fitting destination for poker's richest players, but it's also a city where the unknown come seeking fame and fortune. Both are on the line at the PokerStars.com EPT London main event, with the eventual champion netting more than £560,000. Last time, we saw the bubble burst. Tudor Perica was a boss.
Uh-oh, we're off.
Staying in the top 5 stacks throughout the day. Devilfish was up to his usual antics.
If I was made out of chocolate, I'd have eaten myself this morning.
And Australia's Martin Kozlov bagged $1.3 million to emerge as the end-of-day chip leader. So, 45 players come into day 4. There are no former champs left in the field, but we do have plenty of EPT regs like Tim Adams and Paul Berenda, plus a couple of old-school Brits.
And then there's the Macau boys.
Yeehaw.
Andrew Mosley, Wykin Young, and Jeff Rossiter. Jeff crushed in Macau this summer, and then I helped him crush a Magnum of vodka in the club afterward. Thanks, Jeff.
In fact, he's crushing everywhere right now. He has cashed for more than $3 million this year. And as we play down to the final 16, Jeff is at our main feature table. And another of our featured pros is on a heater all of his own. Ludovic Geilich first came to prominence in June when he took down UK IPT Marbella for €130,000. He honed his skills as a dealer in his hometown of Glasgow.
You get to see players' tails, and he always said, this guy's holding the best hand. He'd turn it up. So it was a big thing about learning where the best hand was.
Our online qualifier is Leo McLean. The young Brit satellited into the main event and has invested a total of £93. It's fair to say the project manager from Northamptonshire is pretty excited to be here.
Just the buzz around the event and the high standard of play and how big it is worldwide. Just where you want to be.
So today we play down to the final 2 tables.
Congrats to Tim Adams, who scored his first ever EPT main event cash here. He's in paradise. This is Aussie chip leader Martin Kozlov. He's got heaps chips. That's how they say it in Australia. And somehow this time we picked an online qualifier that made it to day 4. Go us, and go Leo too, I guess.
So why do they call you the crazy kitty?
Crazy kitty, who told you that? It must something wrong. I'm the nice kitty always.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nothing's been crazy at the table.
I think Devilfish may actually be talking about this guy, Ludovic Geilich. He's nuttier than squirrel poo.
And Jeff, right? Oh, there he is. Hey, buddy. What's going on? What's going on?
Tudor Perica's just noticed Jeff Rossiter, and he should. Guy crushes in Macau. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Soy, soy, soy.
Jeff brings an above-average stack to the featured table. He is 2 to the left of Ludovic Geilich, the table chip leader, and he has got position on both Tudor Perica and US pro Shannon Shaw. Blinds are 4,000, 8,000 with a 1,000 ante. Perica under the gun. He folds. Shannon Shaw's out. Ludovic Geilich has king 3 off.
Well, this would be a weird hand to raise, but then again, Ludo's sporting a German flag and a Scottish accent, if that explains anything.
Raise 16,000.
Ludo is raising, makes it 16,000. Javier Atayo with 9-10 suited.
This would be an absolutely fine call from the cutoff.
He does call. Jeff Rossiter folds the button. Action on the blinds. Small blind passes, and the big blind folds as well. Heads up to the flop.
You'd assume Ludo's got some kind of plan with King Trey.
Is it just me, or does Teo look like an extra from a Sergio Leone western?
It's not just you.
Jack 6-3 on the flop. Bottom pair for Gaelic.
My guess is he's probably not gonna just slow down for the showdown.
Bet 24,000.
He continues for 24,000.
I wouldn't mind a float from Mateo. He's got 3 to a straight, 3 to a flush, and it's a dry board, so sometimes you can pick up the pot when your opponent slows down.
He calls the 24K. We go to the turn, which is the 9 of spades. Teo now with second pair.
Check.
Gaelic slows down. He checks.
And I think a check behind here is probably good. Not often a worse hand will call.
Teo electing to take over the betting. Makes it 44,000. Gaelic with just bottom pair.
Well, he's getting sticky. Looks like Ludovic Gaelic might know karate and crazy.
Raise.
He check raises to 118,000.
Don't know what he's repping, and I think this check raise doesn't make a ton of sense. It's pretty much only going to get air to fold.
Teo, 88% favorite with one card to come.
And with slightly better than air.
He calls. 335,000 in the middle. The river card is the ace of spades. Brings a potential flush. It's also another overcard to Teo's pair.
Ludo must absolutely keep betting on this card of all cards. However, I think with the way he's played it, he can't have a ton of flush draws or ace highs in his range. This bet's gonna have to be super ratchet.
Roughly 2/3 of the pot, 217,000.
Bomb, 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 bomb. I'm supposed to say if you call turn, you have to call river, but honestly, that's way more easily said than done.
Hit the flush, eh?
It is conceivable that Gaelic would have check raised the turn with a flush draw. And Teo folds the best hand.
Javier, it's okay. You got Gaelic. In Scotland, that's what they call a friendly pot.
A great start to day 4 for Aggro Ludo. As we head over to the secondary feature table where Kitty Quo is all in with ace-9. She's been called by Robin Ulatalo with jacks.
Ruh-roh.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Kitty looking for an ace on the flop. 3 to a straight.
Backdoors?
You're probably going to get a set next card just to make it interesting.
A jack would double her outs.
The turn card is a queen, which does make things sweaty.
You want a jack?
No.
Kitty wants a jack or an ace.
Good. Nice hand.
A 9's not enough.
Take care, baby. Bye-bye, darling.
Good game.
Decent run for Kitty here, who's cashed on 4 continents. Someone's got to get her into an LAPT Gatita Quo.
Here in the EPT London main event, she has finished in the top 50 and cashed for £11,425. Robin Ulatalo, meanwhile, has nearly 900,000 in chips.
Oh, and Kitty, thanks for updating us on your status quo. Somebody call a burn unit because I am on fire.
If that's your definition of on fire, I'd hate to get you on a mediocre day. Carla Sabini, last lady standing, facing an all-in from Tim Adams. She's called.
All in call, table 36.
It's like borderline.
That's code for terrible call fish. Just joshing, it was fine.
Adams behind and at risk. And there's an ace on the flop, which pretty much seals his fate. He's out.
Cancel any money. He will not need 2 tickets to paradise.
And Carla Sabini adds 82k to her stack.
Carla, hang in there, because if we lose you, we lose the Canadian audience to curling.
Over the other side of the room, we find Ola Nergard, who had a deep run in the EPT7 Grand Final. He's been raised on the flop by David Yan.
Don't worry, Ola. If you go broke, Lou Pearlman says you can give him a call.
Nergard bet 64,000. Yan's made it 168k. And Nergard shoves. And David Yan quickly calls. Yan with top 2. Nergard with a gut shot and the nut flush draw.
Boy, he's got a lot of outs.
12 outs for the Norwegian. Make that 14. With an ace on the river, he'll have a better 2 pair. But it's a king. He's out in 32nd place.
Good luck, guys.
Boy, he must be disappointed. It's the changing of the Nurgard.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, obviously I'd rather stack them.
Big pot for David Yan. It makes him the new tournament chip leader. He's playing 1.5 million. Geilich is second on the leaderboard. Paricha is still in the top 5. Those guys are the two big stacks at our main feature table. Action's been folded around to Tudor on the button. Ace 10.
Big ace on the button, tons of chips, Year of Romania. Oh, hell yeah!
The adrenaline junkie raises to 17,000. It's Ludo Geilich's big blind. He's got ace deuce.
I gotta tell you, I don't mind a call here, but I think a 3-bet is probably lower variance overall. What am I talking about? There's only one option here if you're Ludovic Geilich.
He does re-raise. The 3-bet is to 46,000.
Easy call for Paricha.
Flats in position. Heads up to the flop. Look at that stare down. Borderline sexy.
I was gonna say borderline sexy.
Jack 7-5 on the flop. Both players miss. Geilich, the pre-flop aggressor, continues for 48,000.
In general, I think this is an easy peel for ace 10, but if you know the other guy will literally never give up, you might want to fold the flop. It's very close. From what I understand of Geilich, he gives up less often than Winston Churchill.
Paricha calls. So we go to the turn with 200,000 in the pot. 7 of clubs pairing the board.
See if Geilich's foot is still planted firmly on the gas. Yep.
A second barrel of 82,000.
Oh, maybe a facial tell to watch out for, maybe just more flirting. You know, I'm sitting here trying to justify why Tudor should keep calling here, all the while forgetting he has the best hand. Ludo's almost got me convinced, and I can see the whole cards.
Paricha calls again. We go to the river.
Nice call.
Which is the queen of clubs, which means they're now chopping.
If Geilich manages to find a way to fire again, I think this becomes a pretty easy fold for Paricha on the river. What am I talking about? Of course he's gonna fire again.
Here comes the third barrel. He's emptying the clip. 294,000.
We know he's a maniac, but we have the benefit of looking at his hole cards. These guys may not be keen yet. Playing against guys like Ludo is super tough because you pretty much have to make a hand, even if it is the Year of Romania.
Tudor staring at the board.
This is such a tough call to make.
And he folds. The bluff gets through.
Tudor, don't freak out, but you also just got Geilich.
Are you enjoying the Ludo show? If so, let us know. Tag your tweets, EPT.
Hello.
Hello, Joseph.
There's a Hardigan on the telly. Phone.
Hilarious as ever. Are you still lost?
Yeah, but it's okay because I'm starting to pick up on the language. G'day, mate.
Where are you? I'll come and get you.
I am. You know, I think I'm gonna walk.
Welcome back to the PokerStars.com EPT London main event. Ludovic Geilich is probably one of the most aggro players we've ever seen on the tour. And interestingly, his heritage is as colourful as his playing style.
My mother's German, my father's Scottish, but I've got a weird first name as well, Ludovic. I think my father's friend was called Ludovic, and he just named me after him. I used to play snooker at a snooker club, and one of the managers used to play poker, and he taught us how to play. And he showed us places to go in Glasgow to go and play poker live. But it was all friendly and small buy-ins, and then from there, just played online. To win EPT London would be great. Of course, it would be a dream come true. It would be amazing. Once I'm at the final, I'll think about that. If I make the final.
I love how Ludo flies the German flag, even though his Scottish accent is thicker than Robbie Coltrane's waistband.
Blinds are up to 5-10, and we are going to sweat with Ludo. Joe, I just want to say good luck. We're all counting on you.
This guy is a maniac. I don't want to sweat with him. It's like trying to sweat Maverick when he buzzes the tower. How am I supposed to advise him? I'm just Jester.
He's raised to 20k with ace-3. Javier Ateo is putting in a 3-bet to 50,000. Few new players at the feature table. Yanilov Shavik, Leon Lewis, and Steve Warburton. Action back on Ludo.
I'm a fan of folding here, but I'm also a fan of Ludovic Geilich, and he is not a fan of folding. So I think the only real mistake he could make here would be to call.
He's putting in another bet. A 4-bet to 127,000.
Definitely don't want to call with a bad ace out of position.
Well, Ateo has position. So will he call? See a flop?
That doesn't look like a call. Ugh.
It's a 5-bet. He's re-raised to 245,000.
These two are animals. Animals! Ludovic, listen to me. Listen, listen, listen. Honey, listen. Ludovic. Sometimes they have it. Ludo, honey. Honey? Thank you.
He lets it go. Javier Ateo was not horsing around. He had kings.
Good fold, but one street too late, told you so.
Javier Ateo used to play rugby and paddle, which apparently is a cross between tennis and squash.
Well, I don't know how you cross a sport with a vegetable, but the Spanish are an industrious people.
Over to our secondary feature table, where Devilfish is facing a raise from Greek online qualifier Georgios Karakoussis.
Come on.
Devilfish shoves.
17 and a half big blinds. I love when the blinds are 5-10, so easy.
Martin Kozlov folds. The blinds are out.
Well,
And Karakoussis snap calls with ace-3.
Call.
More like Kalakoussis.
Oh, I'll swap it for ace king, I guess. I hope he's got sevens.
Karakoussis shows the ace and the 3.
What to call me with. Unbelievable. I might as well stand up, really, I know.
Devilfish is a 2-1 favorite. 8 still good.
But more outs for Karakoussis.
And there's an ace.
No danger.
Devilfish needs an 8 to survive. Doesn't hit.
Well, I'd like to say well played, but I can't do it. Yeah, marvellous, well played. Tried to double me up, you just couldn't do it, huh? I never beat the monkeys.
Leave Peter Tork out of this.
wonder what he's squeezing you 100k with. Never seen him play.
What are you laughing at? Yo, what's funny?
Sorry? You can shut up.
Yo, Devilfish, nice flip-flop. Can't tell if it was the cameras that shut him up or this guy's bare chest.
Meanwhile, the last remaining lady is at risk.
It's my favorite hand, 6-7. Maybe it'll come in.
OMG, she's just the cutest.
Old Kent Road ahead for now.
Hi.
And he sends her to the rail in 30th place.
Why do they call it the last woman standing? Shouldn't it be the last woman sitting? Standing is bad in poker. You're either out or you have a hemorrhoid.
Kent Road gets her chips. Carla cashes for £14,940, the same amount of money that will be paid to the Devilfish.
All you can do in poker is get your money in good shape, and then it's in the lap of the gods. And unfortunately, once again, it's not my day.
And now we've lost Shannon Shaw from our feature table.
Well, Shannon did pick up one thing from his opponent. 28th place prize money.
Cheech, good luck, guys.
Good game.
Salman Bebahani also done here, out in 27th.
See you, Panthers. Yeah. See you guys. Take care.
At the secondary feature table, Robin Ulatalo has bet big on the river. And Kuli Sadu calls with just a 5.
Wow, insane value bet by 2 6s. That is absolute ownage.
Just like Shannon Shaw, hero call gone wrong.
Guess we're gonna have to change his name to Robin Value Latalo.
And the 5.
I just have to sit calm and make it look like I made a value bet on TV.
Value bet, having a bluff snapped off by a worse hand, same. Should keep you in scoop next for a while.
With that pot, the Swede takes the tournament chip lead. He final tabled EPT Campioni in Season 8, and now in London in Season 10, he's playing a stack of 1.8 million. Ludovic Geilich is still in the top 3, but day 3 chip leader Martin Kozlov has now dropped out of the top 5. Well, Kozlov is in action right now against Georgios Karakousis and our qualifier, Leo McLean.
Time to get out the security blanket. Aw. Things could get interesting if there is a high-ish flop.
Well, there it is. McLean pairs his jack. Karakousis has a gut shot. Kozlov has a royal flush draw.
This flop hits more guys than middle urinal stage fright.
Action check to Karakousis. He bets his gut shot, 25,000.
And I like it. He's trying to rep strong by betting into 2 opponents, but it ain't gonna work.
Kozlov calls. McLean, who currently has the best hand, calls as well. It's a 3-way to the turn. It's a queen. Karakousis and Kozlov both now have a pair. 2 pair for Leo McLean.
Attaboy, qualifier. Now he's gonna bet it. Like.
67,000.
After getting stationed in 2 spots on the flop and now being let into, I think Karakousis can karamuck this.
He folds. Kozlov still has a monster draw and, of course, second pair.
This card has given him enough showdown value that he might not blast off here.
He just calls. Heads up to the river. 10 of clubs. Kozlov now with 2 pair, but a worse 2 pair than McLean.
I think this river may prevent these guys from bluffing and from value betting.
Leo checks.
Tough to bluff anyone off a better hand now, and value betting is more dangerous than asking a pub to tune to ice skating on a Saturday afternoon.
Kozlov checks behind. Leo shows a winner.
Mr. McLean.
He adds 182,000 to his stack. He's currently playing around $500,000 as he looks to join the winner's circle and become EPT London champion. At the feature table, Ludovic Geilich has Queen 3 off on the button, and surprise, surprise, he's raising. Jeff Roster defends with King 7.
Interested to see how the Geilicher fares against the Bossiter.
The flop gives Geilich bottom pair. Action's been checked to him.
Bottom pair the best hand again.
He checks behind. 10 on the turn. Jeff checks a second time.
Checks his gut shot.
Delayed C-bet from Ludo, 18,000.
I think I don't love this bet. It's hard to have a super strong hand here unless you check the flop with a monster.
And he's now facing a check raise from Jeff, which he quickly calls.
Had to. That bet put him in a weird spot, like talking about a party with an earshot of the weird guy at the office.
6 on the river. Roster gets there. And he's going to value bet his straight, 110,000.
Some folks maybe get scared with that diamond, but Ludovic probably would have checked back the flop with a flush draw. I think Jeff would have to be very strong to bet this river. It looks like Ludo's about to attempt to rep stronger.
He's counting out a raise.
How much?
262,000.
I do not see Rossiter lead folding.
He calls. And Ludo mucks.
There's a reason we call him the Bossiter. Bill Gates knows what I'm talking about.
Nice one.
Jeff now playing 923,000.
Ludo. Ludo! You can't win every hand.
Jeff Roster now divides his time between Macau and the EPT circuit. He is second on the all-time money list in Australia, following some big results in Macau.
Speaking of big results, check out this giant chippy one. Just fell out of his pocket. That's the one I'm talking about. Yep. Hey buddy, so I am on Knight Rider Street and no Firebird, no talking car. In fact, it looks just like every other street in London. Cars driving up and down the wrong side of the road. Really small, so it looks like it should only be one way, but somehow it's two. And there's a guy urinating in a doorway. Standard.
We're down to the final 24 at the PokerStars.com EPT London main event. Jamil Kanji went in 25th, sent packing by David Yan. So after some musical chairs, the New Zealander will hope to continue crushing at the outer table. While Ludovic Geilich stays on the main stage, he's been joined by our online qualifier, Leo McLean. Plus, the Greek online qualifier, Georgios Karakousis, plus a couple of Norwegians, plus Nikolaos Villalobos, big props to him, going deep in back-to-back EPT main events. Blinds are up, by the way, 6,000, 12,000 with a 2,000 ante. And you'll notice we're playing seven-handed at the feature table because we've just lost Ryan Yu in 24th place. Well, action has been folded around to Ludovic Geilich. He's on the button, and he's got King 6 of clubs.
Well, obviously he's raising, but in his defense, he is on the button.
The raise is to 24,000. Ingvar Sten in the small blind has ace-jack, and he's reasonably short-stacked.
I would say how many big blinds he has, but at 6-12, nobody really knows.
All right.
He shoves. Jan Olav Shavik, who final tabled this event in Season 3, gives up the big blind. It's back on Ludo.
Well, this is a fold.
206. 206.
Ludo, you can't bluff a guy who's all in. No math required. Easiest fold ever against any sane range.
In bad shape here. Strangely enough.
Guess we can go ahead and classify Ludo as more of a feel player.
Oh, wow, he's called!
As Ingvar Sten bites his lip, I'd like to read a statement from the Poker Police. This is atrocious and cannot be considered good in any way.
He does have 2 live cards, but ace high is still good on the flop.
I think he may try to bluff him off this flop.
Oh, king on the turn! Sten needs an ace or a 10 on the river to survive. No help. That one has got to hurt.
Did you hear that? He said, I got Geilich. Sadly, there will be no championship basketball game for Sten Wolf.
Out in 23rd place, cashing for the better part of £20,000. At our outer table, David Yan has just called Steve Warburton shove.
You have 7s, nice.
Warburton with 2 overcards. Oh, 7 on the flop.
Backdoor flush and straight's the only possibility for Warburton.
Drawing dead on the turn.
Good game, Rolf from The Sound of Music.
Better than bubbling, that's for sure.
Good luck, Steve.
Come to think of it, David Yan's dressed like a purple nun.
Well, he's reclaimed the chip lead.
This game is rigged, man. You can't feel safe until quads is what you flop.
Poker is not rigged. How dare you!
Back at the feature table. Ludovic Geilich with a legitimate hand, ace-king. He's raised from the cutoff. Jan Olav Shavik has ace-queen on the button. He calls. Leo McLean also has ace-queen in the small blind.
Surprised Shavik didn't 3-bet. Surely you're going to raise, Mr. McLean.
He just calls.
This is crazy. Against the guy who raises every hand, I'd be 3-betting ace-queen all the live-long day.
Nikolaos Villalobos has 5-6 in the big blind. And he will fold. We're going 3-way to the flop.
Leo knows when he does that we can all still see him, right?
Jack 4 deuce rainbow flop.
Everyone whiffs, and speaking of whiffing, did somebody step on a duck out there?
Action check to the pre-flop aggressor. Geilich does not continue.
Are we going to see the old Shavik stab at it?
Yes, we will. He bets 37,000. McLean is done with his hand.
Tight but right. Folded to the wrong guy, and that's right, boys. Stand down.
Geilich.
Well, we know what he does with hands that he knows are terrible. Let's see what he does with a hand that might be good.
He folds it.
Are you kidding me? How does Ace-King not peel there?
Jan Olav Shavik final tabled this tournament the year that Victoria Corin Mitchell won it, becoming the first female EPT champ. He once satellited into a record-breaking 10 events at the World Series of Poker.
Yes, but why is he dressed like an off-duty chef?
Over to the outer table, Andrew Mosley facing a big decision. He calls all in. and has the losing hand, flush over flush.
This is a bigger cooler than the one they keep Walt Disney's head in.
The one-time chip leader out in 19th place.
Australia hasn't done this much damage to Britain since they brought over neighbors.
Andrew Mosley cashes for £22,850. And we're heading back to the main feature table, where Javier Ateo has just taken a seat.
Javier and Guy went toe-to-toe a bunch when they were across the table. Now they're literally within striking distance of each other, which is exactly why poker tournaments should follow the parliamentary rule of having to sit 3 sword lengths apart. In fact, let's just hold it right in that room next year. You know we got the money.
And I know a guy. We'll make it happen. 6-7 off for Geilich. He raises from the cutoff. Queens for Ateo on the button.
No need to get tricky here. He can kick it on down to Valueville right here before the flop. That means re-raise, also known as a 3-bet.
And there it is, 60,000. Both blinds fold. Action back on Ludo. And he's calling. Not afraid of playing a flop out of position.
This is why you need to 3-bet the guy when you have ace-queen.
The flop is 7-5-4, top pair and a straight draw for Ludo. Ateo still ahead with his overpair. Geilich checks. And Ateo checks behind.
I think that was a great flop to bet and call it off if you get bluff raised.
And there is the straight for Ludovic Geilich. He takes over the betting, 89,000.
I guess Ateo wanted to play a smaller pot in position against a super loose player, and the good thing he did, he may have missed value in the long run, but in the short run, it might have saved him.
He calls. We go to the river, which is the ace of diamonds. Big scare card for Ateo. 330,000 in the middle. And Geilich is betting big for value, 299,000.
This is a big bet, but we've seen Ludo do this before with bluffs also. Yeah, that's a bad card for Ateo, but with a rep like Ludo's and a hand that's under-repped, this is not an easy fold. It's crazy Ludo, and Ateo's range is super weak, so often this is gonna be a bluff. Frustrating. Ludo's the kind of guy you need to make a hand against. Ateo has a hand, and he still can't call.
He folds. Ship the chips to Geilich.
Haven't seen a fold that good since whoever put the double Windsor into his neck turban.
Well, we mentioned their earlier battles on day 4. Their first encounter saw Ludo actually bluff Ateo off the best hand.
The blinds are 4 and 8,000. I'm on the hijack with King 3 offsuit. I'm thinking to myself, I want to put the foot down on the table and let everybody know that I'm going to try and win as many pots as possible. See one is Javier. He flat calls me on the cutoff. Everyone else folds. I bet he calls. I know he's going to call me in the turn. I said to myself, I'll check raise him here. And then put him to the test in the river. So I raise him quite big. But enough to make it look as if I can have it, and if I can't have it, I keep it in the middle. So he calls, and the river comes a perfect card for me. It brings the flush, and it brings the ace. He can obviously have the flush, but there was only like one combo that he could call me with on the flop, unless he called me on the flop with complete air, then turned the flush draw. I fire.
Hit the flush, eh?
I was hoping that he would put me on some sort of set, a top 2. And he passed and put me on the flush, luckily enough.
Could you follow that? I haven't heard a Scottish accent that thick since I met Billy Connolly's kilt maker.
Ludo facing a raise here from Georgios Karakousis. Ludo's got queens, Karakousis has aces.
This could get uglier than Ludo's local when the lights come on.
Karakousis has made it 24K. Ludo just calls.
Kid's got great instincts.
Mateo folds. Sharvik's out. McLean folds the small blind. Villalobos gives up the big blind. Heads up to the flop. Karakusis with the best hand and the betting lead. And he flops top set.
Talk about running good. That terrible flop is absolutely great for Ludo.
Karakusis continues for 20,000.
I think peeling here is actually fine. Sometimes your opponent gives up after the flop bet.
Ludo calls.
Weird to see him just call twice. It's like I don't even know him anymore.
5 of hearts on the turn. Geilich picks up a flush draw.
Second nut flush draw, which means he can probably call another bet here on the turn.
And he's facing another bet of 55,000.
And that bet ain't huge, so you could certainly see him calling again.
Throws in 3 chips, and we're going to the river. Which is the 4 of hearts. Ludo gets there. What a suck out.
Oh man, this guy truly is impossible to play against.
Karakusis bets a third time, 75,000, and faces a big raise from Ludo to 275k.
Karakusis' bet sizing was a little off this hand, and he probably should have checked the river with the intent of folding. He's got 3 aces, so it's more likely his opponent has got some other kind of hand to make it this far, like a pair and a flush draw. The best way to get value out of aces would have been to check and maybe call. Now this is a must fold. Everybody hates folding aces.
Karakusis gives it up.
Especially a set of aces. Geilich again. Ludovic Geilich, you are the Moon Master.
He's now up to 1.4 million. If you want to play in an EPT event, go to PokerStars.com. There are qualifiers every day.
Oh, this is awesome. Get yourself lost in a foreign country. Do you guys possibly speak American? I'm looking for anything American, like a hot dog stand or a baseball diamond. Is that France on the other side there? Oh my God, I'm so lost here. Do I need my passport to go across the bridge? Because I don't have it.
No.
If I run over the border to France right now, will they stop me? I am lost.
Welcome back to the PokerStars.com EPT London main event at the Grand Connaught Rooms, hosted by the Hippodrome Casino. One more elimination, and we're down to the final 16, and that's when play will conclude today. Blinds currently 8,000 and 16,000 with a 2,000 ante. At the main feature table, Leo McLean is under the gun with jacks.
A lot of folks want to puke when they wake up with jacks. Leo McLean always looks like he's about to puke.
Raise 36,000.
He raises to 36,000. Nicola Villalobos folds. Ludovic Geilich on the button has ace-8 of diamonds. And he calls.
Standard button defend.
Mateo gives up the small blind. Jan Olav Shavik in the big blind also folds. Heads up to the flop.
See if McLean can hang on out of position with jacks or if he gets Geilich.
It's a 9-3-3 flop. Jack's still good.
Flop is super quiche for jacks. Cobra Commander will be pleased. Continuation bet.
Here it comes. 56,000.
In the words of Short Round, if Ludo calls here, he no nuts, he crazy.
Well, I guess we're ticking the crazy box then, because he has calls.
Yeah, ace-8 high is gonna be good occasionally.
Deuce of diamonds on the turn.
Jack should probably bet again here.
Nope, he checks.
A check isn't terrible against the guy who's trying to win every hand.
Geilich checks behind. The river is a jack. That's a full house for Leo.
See, a bet on the turn would have set up the river shove. I am reasonably confident Leo McLean can no longer be Geilich.
115,000.
I think Ludo checked the turn, realizing that he's only going to win this hand if it checks down and he's somehow good. Even still, for him, this would be a disciplined laydown. Like putting down your phone even though you see you've got unread messages. It's just so hard. But the indicator, I've got to clear away that red dot.
You can see Ludo doesn't want to fold.
Painful.
But on this occasion, he will let it go. Leo McLean wins to the delight of his railing crew.
Man, Brits have the best rails in poker. After about 4 beers, but before 8.
Leo qualified for this tournament online. He is in for just £93 and has locked up £25,000, a significant improvement on his previous best result, which was in a comp in Luton, where he cashed for 1,900 quid.
Ugh, Luton.
You love it. Every time Leo plays a hand, we see him become the masked crusader. And bless him, his friends on the rail join in the fun as well.
Covering my face is not something I've always done. Just recently I just felt more comfortable playing in bigger tournaments, playing against obviously better players. Just lets me breathe easier and just relax when I'm in a pot, which is always helpful.
What I want to know, if you cover your face, do you still try not to move, or are you all like blah, 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 under there?
Now, a short while ago, Georgios Karakoussis got moved to the outer table, and now he's set for a double up through Old Kent Road. Boom.
The old naked ace couldn't get there.
I saw that.
Karakoussis now playing 1.88 million.
Looks like Old Kent Road's got a few potholes.
Karakoussis will now be third on the leaderboard. Let's head back to the main feature table. Action on Ludovic Geilich under the gun +1.
There's a reason why Ludovic and Geilich both rhyme with sick.
Raising with 6-3 offsuit. Ace-Jack for Shavik.
This is a fine spot to call, or you can 3-bet the live wire. Either way. You know, before I said Jan Shavik looked like an off-duty chef, but now I'm thinking it's more like a ninja that suddenly lost a lot of weight.
You should probably stop thinking.
Hasn't had time to replace the wardrobe yet.
He calls. King-Queen suited for Leo McLean in the big blind.
This is more of a flat call spot for Leo, even though a 3-bet is tempting with a hand as sexy as Queen suited.
Cool. He does call. 3-way to the flop. King 10-10. McLean with the best hand. Shavik with a draw. Geilich with a total bagolino. Action check to the aggressor.
Playing in flow. This is a pretty bad spot to bet. It's a very connected board, and he's going to have almost no equity when he gets called.
Ludo continuing for 31,000.
Also, a guy like Ludo is going to get floated a lot.
Shavik is in with his gut shot.
And it looks like Ludo is going to get looked up by 100% of his opponents.
Sure enough, McLean calls as well. 3-way to the turn. And that card is the ace of spades, meaning Shavik is now in the lead.
And meaning Geilich is officially drawing dead, or as his people would say, deed.
Shavik checks.
Leo can't bet.
He checks as well.
But we know Ludo can. Ludo wants to win every single pot, so he's going to bet here. It will work sometimes, but a lot of the time, you're just going to get called down.
With 0% equity, he bets 98,000.
And this only works if your opponents are terrified of you, and I don't know how they could be, except for I just remembered they haven't been seeing his hole cards. Surely Shavik's going to call a top pair, and draws to a boat and the nut straight.
He folds!
Wow. Now it's just up to Leo. Now, we have the benefit of knowing all the cheese Geilich's been playing, but I don't think these guys are aware of it yet. Leo may think he's drawing nearly dead already.
There's also that fear if he does call here that he might be facing an even bigger bet on the river. McLean folds! Wow! You gotta love watching this guy play. The bluff gets through. He gets 2 better hands to fold.
Ludovic Geilich is full of more random aggression than your average internet discussion forum. Let's take a look at his last 70 hands. He's played all of them. Just kidding, but he's played over half. And out of those 37 hands, only 5 of them could even arguably be called premiums. His win rate is nothing to write home about. For all his aggression, he's only up 150K where he started today. It's a risky style, but it's earned him at least 2 new fans, me and you.
At the outer table, it's Karakousis versus Jan. The Greeks bet the river.
I don't want to be ageist here, but if Karakousis is betting here, he's probably got at least a straight.
Jan calls. Karakousis has ace high.
Well, excuse me for a second.
Jan wins the hand with 2 pair.
Damn it!
Let's get straight over to the secondary feature table, where Candido Gonçalves has moved all in. Decision on Stefan Wagner. He calls.
France dominated.
Wagner a big favorite. We could be about to lose Gonçalves.
This could be the last hand of the night. Luckily, he's already dressed for his night shift at the pharmacy.
Looking for a queen. Ace high flop changes nothing. Gonçalves drawing to 3 outs. Down to 7% equity. It's not a queen on the river.
Okay, man.
Candido Gonçalves busts in 17th. We are down to 16. That will do it for day 4 of the EPT London main event. Gemma's bringing the bags over.
Wagner, put your chips in the Wagner. David Yan goes by Miss Oracle online. You think he saw this coming? Yes, Robin Ulatalo. Massage those chips. Treat them well.
Oh, don't forget.
And check out our boy Leo McLean. James, day 5. Our online qualifiers all grown up. But here's the real star of the day. Ludovic Geilich has been more aggressive than Jason Voorhees on prom night.
Well, 4 Brits have made it to the final 16, but they're all below average. 3 of them are the short stacks heading into the penultimate day. David Yan leads. Robin Ulatalo also has more than 2 million. Ludovic Geilich will come into day 5, 6th in chips.
I thought the table was softer than it actually was, which was obviously stupid. I mean, to think that. I mean, but it happens. I pushed it too much. I think play my same game. Just play nice, aggressive poker. Select my opponents well. That's it.
Next time, the temperature rises.
Always sweating.
I've won, yeah?
The masked crusader fights for truth, justice, and chips.
That's what's been the whole tournament, mate. The whole tournament.
And Ludo sticks with his aggro MO.
It's the worst ever for him to bluff. They still bet.